This is one-on-one session with the ForumIAS founder and director Ayush Sinha. In this session, students are asked questions to test their preparedness for the personality test. One-on-one sessions are not mock panel sessions.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Abhinandan,
Yes, sir.
can you recall somebody who became famous with this name?
Yes, sir. Abhinandan Bardhaman. He is Indian Air Force fighter pilot, sir. In 2019, he shot down F-16 through his MiG-21 and landed in Pakistan and there stayed for 60 hours and came back to India. After that, he became very famous.
I just asked you, do you know someone with this famous? You told me the whole story.
Sorry, sir.
What does your name mean, Abhinandan?
So it means welcome.
Alright, so can you briefly introduce yourself to me?
Sir, I come from Samastipur district of Bihar. I have been to Ramakrishna Mission Vidyapit, Devghar, Jharkhand. So I have completed my BTech and MTech from IIT Kharagpur in 2018. Since then, sir, I am working in Indian Space Research Organization as scientist cum engineer on Gaganyaan projects. Parallelly, I am also preparing for civil services examination.
Why is such a fantastic scientist working for ISRO? And we don't have too many scientists in this country. And we have so many IAS aspirants in the country. Why do you want to come and join civil services? I mean, the country needs scientists today. Anybody can do civil service. Why you are coming here?
So there are two reasons to this. First one, from the beginning only I had inclination towards civil services. When I joined ISRO, that was a part of my journey. It was not the final destination. And the second reason is, sir, civil services in general and IAS in particular has many unique aspects that attracts me, sir. For example, diversity of work or leading at very young age. In 20s, there are no other options where we can lead, say, 20 lakh or 40 lakh people. And, sir, working at different level, right from the district at grassroots level to national level and involving in policy making. These all opportunities are not there anywhere, sir. And that attracts me. And I feel that I can do much better as a civil servant or IAS in particular, sir.
What is Samastipur famous for?
Samastipur is famous for many things. The first one is that there is a Dr. Rajendra Prasad Central Agriculture University in Pusa. That is the most famous part of Samastipur. And there are other poets, for example, Sarda Sinha and Vidyapati. They are also from Samastipur, sir.
Do you have any flooding problem in Samastipur?
Very less, sir. There is a river Budi Gandak that floods, but not every year, sir.
Why it is called Budhi?
So there is another river that is Gandak. And so if you allow me to guess, then this river might be older than that river.
Yes, you think you have studied the life stages of a river? The river changes path.
Yes.
Then one of the paths, it may invent new paths. Why do rivers create so many paths in Bihar? It is specially seen, and further in Bengal, river will take too many paths. What is the reason?
Sir, particularly in Bihar, sir, the water from the Nepal comes with very high speed, sir. And that also causes the change of course of the river. Second thing is, sir, in mid-course and the lower courses, there is a concept of meandering. And the river, when the speed slows, then it meanders. And that also causes change in its course.
What topographical feature of Bihar is responsible for this?
So the plain area, sir.
All right. Tell me why Bihar remained backward whereas other states have done so well. What is the reason for it?
So there are many reasons. So the first one is, if we see 1991 reform that happened in India, Bihar missed it. It focused on social justice and it missed economic justice pass. The second thing is, sir, in Bihar there are many structural problems in terms of education has not been that good. And also, sir, the lack of health quality, that is also not good. So human resources were not able to develop properly in terms of education and health, and they were not able to find employment opportunities, and they have to migrate. And industries were also not there, and the focus was more towards social justice particularly. That also didn't happen. So overall industrial development did not happen, and so we see the backwardness.
If I visit Samastipur, what places would you like me to visit?
There are 2-3 places. The first one is there is a temple in Samastipur where that is a Shiva temple, and there is a Maqbara inside. If
There is what inside?
Maqbara inside.
Okay.
So both Hindus and Muslims they visit there, sir. And in Samastipur district there is a famous Thaneswar temple that is also place to visit. And of course, sir, agriculture university you can visit.
You've done electrical engineering.
Yes, sir.
Why do you use AC current instead of DC current?
Sir, the basic reason is, sir, AC current transmission is easier, sir. Because in AC currents from long distance, from generation to distribution, it can be stepped up to higher voltage, it can be brought a step down to the lower voltage. So transmission losses can be decreased in AC currents. And that is primarily why we shifted from DC to AC, sir.
The current in itself, when it is produced in DC format or in AC format?
Sir, in generators, it is produced in form of AC formats only, sir. But we make it DC through commutators, but it is alternating currents.
Albert Einstein was a famous physicist.
Yes, sir.
He gave several theories. Can you tell some theories for which he is famous?
So the first one is photoelectric effect, sir, on which solar panels and today renewable energy is based. That is one of the most famous, for which he also got Nobel Prize. And there are other theories in terms of, he is talking about a general theory of relativity, a special theory of the relativity, and how mass can be converted into energy, sir.
Why are suddenly so many IITians coming for civil services?
Sir, there could be many reasons, sir. First of all, people who go to IIT, they don't have much idea what they want to do in life. In 12th, everyone either take medical and engineering, and they land up in IIT. Many get a job there through private sectors, but many of them realize that this is not I want to do. I want to do something else. And civil services, which is of course unique, and IAS in particular, very, very unique, that attracts them, and people come back because they are not satisfied. And engineering, no one in India, mostly people are not doing as a passion, just because people want to do it. And at the end they realize that they want to do something else.
And what if after coming here from IIT in IAS, they realize that this is not what they wanted to do? What will the government do then?
So in fact, there are few who realizes that this is not they want to do, and they leave it. But at the same time, there are many who stay there and they contribute a lot, sir. Attrition will be there always, sir, whether it is IAS or civil services anywhere, sir.
ISRO today is an organization that is widely respected by the Indian people. Who were the earliest founding members of ISRO?
Sir, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. He was the main force behind ISRO.
What is the reason that ISRO as a PSU is seen as a very successful public sector undertaking, or compared to a lot of other government enterprises that have not done so well? What makes ISRO so successful?
So there are a few reasons. The first one is, if we see the hierarchy of the ISRO, then the Department of Space Secretary is also chairman of ISRO, and he directly reports to PMO. That is not the case with other organizations. Second thing is, sir, if we see how the policies are made in ISRO, that is made by the Space Commission, that is again chaired by the chairman of ISRO. So the policy making, policy implementation part strongly lies with the scientists of the ISRO, and they have lots of freedom in terms of how they want to go ahead. So that autonomy in decision making is there, sir. The second thing is, sir, ISRO functions in very, very transparent manner, sir. We don't find the usual red tapeism there in ISRO. There is a process and how it functions, sir. And the third thing is, sir, ISRO gets decent budget, and whatever is required, usually it is granted to them. And lastly, ISRO also gets performance incentives. That is not there in other organizations, government organizations. There is a performance.
How does your performance incentive work like?
So there are two types of performance incentive. One is organizational incentive and one is group incentive. In organizational incentive, there are the target sets, and if the organization attain those targets, then they get the incentive. In groups, ISRO is divided into many groups, and the group achieve the target on the scale of 10, then accordingly they get incentives. Individual incentives is not there, it is group or organizations.
Can you name some failed experiments of ISRO? Some failed missions?
Yes, sir. The first one will be Chandrayaan-2. That is not failed, but partially failed. Then recently there was a GSLV mission, Earth Observation Satellite 03, that also failed. And in beginning times, there were lots of failure in terms of...
Which has so far been the most ambitious mission of ISRO?
So Chandrayaan-2. Mangalyaan-2 also was one of the ambitious, but Chandrayaan-2, since we were trying to land on moon, that was most ambitious.
Have you heard of Pragyan?
Yes, sir.
What was it?
So Pragyan was a rover which was supposed to land with a lander named Vikram on Chandrayaan-2, and it was supposed to rover around surface of moon and collect certain data.
Why is it so challenging to land something on the moon?
So the primary reason is on surface of moon, the atmosphere is not there. So if the atmosphere is not there, then we don't get usual drag from the atmosphere, sir. To decrease our velocity, we have to fire our thrusters, and depending on that only, we can decrease our velocity. If we come to Earth, then there is a drag from the atmosphere, and that makes it very, very challenging, sir.
Any other reason can you think of?
Sir, there are other reasons also. For example, on surface of moon, we are not we don't have that detailed information where crater is there and how altitudes are varying. For example, in Chandrayaan-2, we wanted to avoid certain hilly area was there, and the algorithm was designed that if it finds it, then it will again redesign its path and find out a plain area. So that information details are not available, and we make on-time decisions. If there is any crater or any hill is there, then you have to avoid and then find out a better location and land it. They're also processing it and taking actions accordingly on a spot is difficult task.
How many countries are currently supporting the International Space Station?
Sir, one is, can I take a moment, sir?
Yes.
5 countries.
Can you name them?
Yes, sir. USA, Canada, Russia, Japan, and European Union together, sir.
How about China?
China is not part of Indian space stations. They are planning their own.
They are not part of International Space Station?
Yes, sir.
Do they have their own space station?
They are building, sir.
They are building it.
Yes, sir.
Should we make or declare space as the 4th arena of warfare?
Sir, the current treaty suggests that the space would be used for the peaceful purposes. And if we make it arena of warfare, then there would be race to colonize the space area and also moon or Mars. In that way, sir, space activity requires lots of investment, and that requires collaboration, sir. If we try to make it a warfare area, then everyone will try to go and occupy it, and the advancement would not be that fast, sir.
Who is more important for the country, scientist or civil servant?
Sir, both are important, sir.
All right, Abhinandan, your interview is over.
Thank you, sir.